Don't make the same mistake when you're traveling with film like I did, or else you're going to end up with something like this. Okay, you're probably thinking, oh my gosh, what a rookie. Does she not know to get her film hand checked? To give myself a little bit of credit, yes, I know this, but here's what happened. So last year I was going to go on a trip to India, and I knew I would have to go through at least 5 different hand checks because I was flying to 3 different destinations, a layover and in Japan, and then obviously back to the US. I got a little bit lazy and I started questioning whether all this time I have really just been wasting my time getting my film hand checked when it does say film less than ISO 800 is fine to go through these scanners. So I scoured YouTube and looked at information, and I found a couple of people that showed that they got their film scanned several times, in fact. And this one person said they put their film through the scanner 17 times. Okay, 17 times. And he showed what his film looked like, and it was totally fine. And so I thought, okay, this is great information. Dude has proof. So I went about my happy way and got my film scanned through 5 different airport scanners, and I ended up with ruined film. And so now I'm here to share with you what to not do, which is what I did, and what you should be doing instead. So the first one, not to be facetious, but bring a digital camera, because that's what saved me. Even something as small as this is actually a really great camera. The quality of the photos of this are a lot better than the iPhone, and also you can do a lot of manual things with this. Tip number 2 is for you then to research the airports that you are going to be going through. So in the US, the airports, the TSA agents are usually super cool and they let you hand check your film, but internationally it's you never know. And so last year, for example, when I flew to Lisbon, I researched whether they would let you do hand checks at the Lisbon airport, so coming back. And I found out on Reddit, thank you Reddit community, that they do not let you do hand checks. That might be different now, but this was last summer. I came up with a different solution for that, and I'll talk about that after these tips. So once you do find out that the airport you'll be passing through does allow for hand checks, then you are good to go to the next step. And that is for you then to prepare your film in a clear Ziploc bag and make it as easy as possible for you to get it hand checked by the agent. And what I mean as easy as possible is to take all of your film out of their boxes so that they don't have to do it. And so that it is absolutely clear that it is just film in those boxes, and then they can easily swab, do whatever they do with the film. The other tip for that, bonus tip, is do not have film in your cameras, because that just is another thing they have to check. Tip number 4 is for you to leave plenty of time when you go to the airport. And because I have had to wait a good 15 minutes for an agent to finally, especially if it's like a super busy time, I've had to wait a long time for the agents to finally get to my film and do the hand check. Tip number 5 is to be super nice about it, because they are doing you a favor. Although I don't know, maybe like a super angry, intimidating person could do the trick, but I can't pull that off. There's nothing intimidating about me. So those are my tips to make sure that your film is safe as you travel and go through these airports, especially internationally. Now, what if you did your research and you found out that they do not allow for hand checks, just like my situation in Lisbon last year? So what I did was I researched for labs in Lisbon who could develop them, and luckily I found a cool place, Carmencita Labs. If you're ever in Lisbon, they get a job done, and it's a super cool area too. And they basically just took, a little bit over an hour to get my film developed. And so what I did was a couple of days before I left, I went in there, put the order in for, I don't know how many I had. I had like 12 rolls of 120 film, and I put the order in. They said it'll take about, a couple hours. And then Luckily, they're in this cool area that's there's restaurants and shopping. So I just kind of like did my thing and then came back and it was done. It was developed. Now, don't get it scanned because scanning takes a lot longer, whereas developing was obviously pretty quick for them. And so that's the only other solution I have if they don't allow for hand checks. If you follow all those steps, your film should be good and safe and you should have your beautiful memories preserved, unlike me. So for next time, I actually have a really cool video for you. Guess what I ended up with? I did not expect to have this in my hands, but recently I went on a photo walk with Peak Design here in my city and I got my hands on this. And so I'm going to talk about that in the next video.